Hello, thank you for joining us today as we share how news is used in Washington libraries. I'm Sarah McCurdy, Senior Vice President of Customer Success. My amazing team works with libraries across Washington, the United States, and around the world to help them take full advantage of our resources. I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Phyllis Comrie, Vice President of Content Analytics. Hi, Phyllis.
Sarah.
Before we begin, we would like to extend a special thank you to Washington State Library and all of our customers across Washington for your ongoing partnership. Today, Phyllis will share how news is used by patrons, students, faculty, teachers, and many others who are subscribing to NewsBank resources, whether it's Access World News or America's News, which are our primary collection of news and information. Before Phyllis shares insights, I'm thrilled to share that we, NewsBank, are celebrating our 50th year anniversary. For 50 years, we have partnered with publishers, libraries, and many other organizations around the world to aggregate and share rich news and information. As you can see, we were founded in 1972. We're a global information provider. We serve libraries, as I mentioned, around the world. We provide comprehensive, vetted, credible resources. And those resources are available 24/7 via remote access, whether it's via your library websites, in your schools, in your institutions. Our resources are always available. So now let's go ahead and get to the great insights. Phyllis, over to you.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for letting me join you today. What I'm going to show you today is use by market in your libraries from January 2022 through today. I want you to know that your people are looking at things both locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. They look at both current content and older content so they can understand what's happening today by getting background on that information from the older content. While there are some similarities between the different markets, you're also going to see differences that reflect the needs of patrons and teachers and faculty and students. So let's take a look at the universities in Washington and how they use your content. You'll see that it is very curriculum oriented. There are many topics that they are used, many different subject areas that they study using news. One of the things is social issues. And there are many current issues that they are looking at. When they look at something like homelessness, they are looking at content, both how is it affecting the state of Washington and what are places around the world doing with that situation. Environment is a very big interest to our universities. Things like climate change and the earthquakes in Turkey that recently took place. They're also looking at what are the environmental policies in your state and things in Puget Sound. Technology and STEM areas get a lot of use. You'll notice they're also looking for careers in that field. So this is another way they're using the content. Happy to say that in the health area, while COVID was searched more in 2022, there is less of that, but they are still keeping informed about that information. But then they're looking at other issues, including resources in your state to assist with mental health and other health issues. Business and economics in your universities is a very big interest there. They're looking not only at the current things like inflation and the interest rates, but they also go back to look at Boeing and the whole history of Boeing, that company. They're interested in what's going on in other countries like China and the foreign exchange rate. In government and politics, They looked at the 2022 midterm elections. They wanted to know the candidates, the issues, also looking at foreign leaders, and they are following the war in Ukraine and voting rights. They do look at local political leaders. I want you to know that when they look at things locally, it's what I call the extended campus approach. They will look at local issues and look at them globally, but then study them relative to their state and how it applies to their curriculum that they are working on. In crime and law, they are looking certainly at the crime there, at gun violence and other things. And then there are some things in education that they are looking at as well. Let's take a look at the community college market. In that market, you will see that while it looks like it is curriculum related, it is, but in the community colleges in Washington, there is a very big interest in and the use in community colleges is very career path oriented. They are very interested in current social issues, and they use some of these for English composition work, things like abortion and book banning, food insecurity, and again, the homeless. You will see some of these similarities as we look at the different markets. Health is a very big user of content in this market. This is because there are so many positions in this field that they are looking at and they are studying. So you will see things like diseases and disorders and treatments that are being searched. You will also see care providers, and you will see occupations as well searched there. Okay. Environment, again, we continue to see environment as a very big topic that is being researched today. Many of these are the same. Electric vehicles is fairly new. We've got melting glaciers, and things with water shortages. Again, we get into the science area, the science and technology. As soon as NASA and there was more space exploration, we saw people searching these areas. Again, you see computer programmer, or again, careers that they're looking at in the STEM field. In government and politics, again, the 2022 midterm elections, they are looking at some national issues in that area. Crime and law, they do law enforcement courses, and so there is interest in that relative to jobs and to training of people in those positions. And then some things in the business area. They were looking at the Amazon headquarters in your state and trade relations. There's a great interest in China and what is happening in that country. Let's take a look at your schools and how they're using the product. Again, you will see that it's very curricular oriented, and the social issues, the current social issues, again, many of them are the same that you are seeing in your other markets. Book banning and animal testing. Again, censorship, and again, we see China there. They're again interested in homelessness in your area as well as others. And racism, fake news. These are things that are being searched very frequently in your schools. Environment, again, very big area of interest. There's a great interest in endangered species and treatment of them, climate change, deforestation, and again, the earthquakes, the recent things that are there. So as current events happen, they do get researched. Health, again, you will look at things like depression in youth. So they're interested in what is happening in relation to themselves in the health area. Self-image is one that students do search frequently. And they're interested in hunger around the world and what is happening there. In government, again, we see the 2022 midterm elections, and they are following the war in Ukraine. In crime and law, again, you see school violence. In other words, things that are affecting them. They do look for these things, and gun control is there. They do look at Supreme Court decisions and do research and study these. Business, again, you see Boeing has got some use. Supply and demand, and some of the current things like inflation and world economy. Your schools are very interested in what's going on both locally and globally. Then there are some things in homework. They do look at the homework rate and things and achievement gap. And then you get to the STEM area. Again, you see things related to NASA and space exploration and things like artificial intelligence, which is a big issue in the news. And lastly, let's take a look at how your public libraries are using news. A little bit different in the public libraries. They don't have an education curriculum, but you have a variety of patrons of all kinds. You have parents, you have seniors, you have people coming in from businesses and things that may be using content in your libraries. Again, they're interested in current social issues like abortion and book banning and homelessness. And we see they're interested in the refugees that are coming into different areas. You see environment, interest in wildfires. There are ones around your area and things, and natural disasters, and that includes the earthquakes and flooding and things of that sort. In health, they are interested in hospitals in your area and services, as well as diet and nutrition. I'm going to go over to finances for a moment and look at the interest there. Again, you see Boeing there. This is an area, there's personal finances, and you will see that things are like cost of living and retirement. And again, you see career changes because people in public libraries, some of your patrons that are looking for jobs, and they will look for different careers, different ways of doing things. They'll look for information on resume writing. Security. Security is a very personal thing, and there's a great interest in that. For crimes, they're looking at both local crimes and ones globally, but they're very focused there. And fires. If there have been fires in the area, they do research those, and they will look at those very specific ones. And then gun control, policing traffic accidents. They do look at accidents that have happened. That's usually local. Then you have parents that are using your resources. They're interested in things going on in college and in local schools. They're also interested in issues that are happening with children and teens, like bullying and peer pressure and social media. Again, there was interest in the 2022 midterm elections. They do follow local officials and the voters' guide. They do look at this, and they are following the war in Ukraine. Some of the top ones in technology, things like artificial intelligence, those things. But the other thing that we see in public libraries that your patrons are using is in the recreational and the cultural area. They do look for book reviews, and they'll look for concert schedules or other events that are happening around your area. The other thing that they look for are puzzles from our image editions, and any hobbies like knitting or DIY projects like plumbing or electricity. They do look for recipes and restaurant reviews. And if there are specific events going on, they do follow the major league sports depending on the season, what they're following. And if there is something in particular going on, like the Super Bowl or the Olympics, they are following that. So I hope that this has been helpful to you in understanding the needs of patrons, faculty, students, and teachers, and that it will help you to assist in your schools and community colleges and universities with assignments that students may have and that align with their curriculum. And that for your patrons, I hope that it will help you plan your programming, your social media posts, and any other events that you might have going on. I thank you for your time today, and I hope this has been helpful. Sarah, back to you.
All right. Phyllis, thank you so much. Such great information about how news is used across Washington libraries. always amazes me to see that virtually every topic is covered in the news. So if you would like more information about any of the information that Phyllis shared today, you'd like to explore our resources, both current and historical news. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact your sales representative in your market listed here on the slide. We thank you so much for spending time with Phyllis and myself today. We hope that you took away some great insights that you can implement today with in your institution or with your patrons, your students, your faculty. And we very much look forward to our ongoing partnership with Washington State Library and with all of our customers and libraries around the world. Thank you very much. Thank you, Phyllis.